Hello everyone, you're welcome to another episode of Etiquette Tips with TG. And as usual, my name is Timmy Chokwe George. Welcome to the month of December. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I love the month of December, as indeed I'm sure we all do. There are beautiful decorations all over the city of Lagos. It's a time to give and receive gifts. And above all, it's a time where you get invitations to a lot of parties, be it an office Christmas party, a dinner event with friends, or even a red carpet event. So our topic today is very apt. Today we shall be discussing RSVP etiquette. I shall be telling you what RSVP means, how soon we need to RSVP, and the importance of RSVP. I was at a graduate event a few weeks ago and randomly I just asked someone what RSVP meant. And the person said, RSVP means rice and stew very plenty. I was shocked. I promptly responded, RSVP is not an acronym for rice and stew very plenty. RSVP derives from a French phrase which is répondez s'il vous plaît, which simply means respond, please. There's a reason why on every invitation you see RSVP at the bottom with names and numbers with whom to respond and communicate with. So RSVP does not mean rice and stew very plenty. It simply means you need to respond to an invitation. So how soon should we RSVP? Within 24 hours of receipt of the invitation. Yes, within a day of receiving the invitation. I'd like you to imagine this scenario. So someone comes up to you and says, I'd like to take you out to dinner tonight. What would you like me to order? What would you say? You'd probably say, oh, that would be nice. And the person now adds, oh, dinner will be on me, by the way. You'd probably say, oh, yes, please, thank you. Or someone comes up to you and says, I'd like to give you 50,000 naira. Are you going to say, give me a few moments to think about that? You're probably going to say, thank you very much. How kind of you. What is this in aid of, perhaps? That's the same principle that applies when you receive an invitation. The polite thing to do when someone invites you to an event is at the very minimum to acknowledge receipt of the invitation within 24 hours. Some of you might ask, what if I'm not sure whether I'll be able to make the event? You should still acknowledge the invitation and probably add, I will confirm whether I'll be able to attend by a specific date. Some of you may also ask, what if I've actually acknowledged and responded by confirming attendance at the event, but I later find out that it clashes with another event? So in other words, you're not able to attend. The appropriate thing to do in that situation will be to promptly call the host and tell your host, I'm really sorry, I had earlier confirmed that I'll be able to attend your event, but unfortunately something has come up and I'm not able to attend the event. Now, for the hosts out there, please don't be tempted to ask, why can't you make it? Particularly if the person who called you, the person who you invited, has not told you why they can't make it. Just simply say, oh, that's a shame. We would have really loved to have you there. So why is it important that we RSVP? Firstly, it helps the host to plan for the event and make adequate arrangements for guests. Secondly, it is a courteous and considerate thing to do. Thirdly, it helps to curb waste. And finally, it guarantees you even more invitations to events. I'd like you to imagine this scenario. And this has actually happened to me. So I held a party for my son at a choice event in town where I had to pay per head for everybody I invited. I'd invited everyone in his class and some of his other friends. So I'd invited about 30 people. I'd color-coded the gifts for boys and for girls. On the day of the event, only 2 people had RSVP'd. What do I do? Do I call the restaurant and tell them to cancel the order that I'd made for all the children? Again, I'd had to pay for this ahead of the date. So that day, they turned up. Thankfully, a good number turned up. Some people invited other people. We'll be talking about that another day. But most people did not RSVP. And it really affected the planning. So at the end of the day, I had to start changing names on bags and all that, just to ensure that everyone that came received a gift. Now, would it have been appropriate for me not to save a plate for the people that didn't RSVP? I had paid for it anyway. It's really important that we RSVP, in my mind. How do we ensure that people RSVP to invitations? Should we penalize them? For instance, should I have sent the people that didn't attend the event or even bother to confirm? Should I have sent them their bill? That, look, this is what this event cost me for your child. Should I have done that? Perhaps I should have. Perhaps that would ensure that people actually do RSVP for events. Ladies and gentlemen, we're living in a society where we're all very busy indeed, which is why my recommendation is that you RSVP within 24 hours. Because if you don't, you probably would forget to RSVP the invitation altogether. But we all have to put ourselves in the shoes of the host. We've all been there. We're all going to have to host an event one day or the other. So it's really important that we observe these important rules of RSVP etiquette. Ladies and gentlemen, I urge you to join me in this revolution to ensure that people RSVP by making a commitment to RSVP to every invitation that you receive this Christmas holiday season. Now, I'm not saying you have to attend all the events, but acknowledge receipt and decline if you have to. But the important thing is that you respond. And if you change your mind, if after accepting the invitation you decide to change your mind, please also promptly respond so that adequate arrangements can be made for a replacement for another guest. Ladies and gentlemen, I urge you all to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Etiquette Tips with TG, which will come up on your screen, and kindly send me an email as well. I really look forward to hearing from you. Send an email to etiquettetipswithtg@gmail.com. Continue to enjoy this holiday season, and until I come your way again with more exciting etiquette tips, please remember to RSVP.